Hey everybody, it's Hylian Alchemist and welcome back to Let's Play Sonic Adventure. In the last episode, we kicked off Sonic's scenario by defeating Chaos Zero, and we rescued Tails in the Emerald Coast. In this episode, we're going to go head straight over to the Mystic Ruins, because Tails said that the fastest way to get there is by train. Of course, despite being Sonic's best friend, he seems to have forgotten who is fastest thing alive here. Seriously, Tails, you just insulted Sonic. How dare you! You've clearly forgotten that Sonic here himself is, of course, the fastest thing alive, much faster than the train, of course, and you're suggesting that the train is faster than Sonic? Hell no! You just insulted your best friend! Why don't you go apologize? Okay? You owe him an apology. He's faster than the train.
The train headed for the
But anyways, so yeah, that actually was the main part of, well, pretty much one of the main parts of Station Square. Pretty much all you can do is you can just go around and talk to people. Sometimes they may provide you with information, but other times it may not be so useful because most of the time they would just talk about themselves. Because they can. And it's not very helpful very much. So anyways, here we are in the Mystic Ruins. And it's actually like, well, both Station Square and the Mystic Ruins are two of the three hub worlds they can get to. The third one we'll get to later on. But yeah, first of the Sonic series, the game has hub worlds. But first and foremost, a cutscene.
If it isn't Sonic!
Look, it's a giant talking egg.
Silence! I am Dr. Robotnik, the greatest scientific genius in the world!
Whatever you say, Eggman.
Enough! I've got big plans, and now I'm gonna put them to work!
You're always up to no good. Now what do you want?
I want all of the Chaos Emeralds! Better not interfere, or else!
Or else what, you big loser?
Or else I'll take them from you by force! The hard way!
Alright, our first boss fight against Dr. Robotnik, and he is piloting the Egg Hornet. This is a pretty simple boss fight. Basically what he'll do is that he'll first start by shooting missiles, and then the next thing he'll do is that he will start dive-bombing right to the ground with his drills. And that is your chance to homing attack him. It's pretty simple like that. It's also not like in the other classic Sonic games in which you just defeat Robotnik by just jumping on his head constantly. You're just using homing attack. I gotta say though, I actually do love the addition to homing attack. It is such a great addition. I do remember at one point that it was actually originally a power-up for Sonic and Sonic 3D Blast. Starting with this game though, and this applies to the rest of the 3D Sonic games, that the homing attack is incorporated into Sonic himself to where it's actually his natural ability. And I really do love it like that. It's very fun to use. Just using the homing attack. I do use it a lot. It's one of the best additions in the Sonic series. Anyways, yeah, that was pretty simple. The Egg Hornet's down.
Hey, I'll play with you some other time.
And now we'll just go ahead and see what happens next.
Well, that wasn't so hard.
Aha!
Oh no!
Come on, Chaos! Time to eat!
Chaos? Oh no, isn't that the same monster I saw the other day?
It's just as the stone tablets predicted. His strength increases every time I feed him a Chaos Emerald. With all 7 emeralds in him, he'll be invincible and work for me. Together, we'll destroy Station Square. And on its ruins, I'll build Robotnik Land, the ultimate city, where I will rule it all. Come on, Chaos! Let's find another emerald, shall we?
Sonic! We can't let him get away with this, can we?
No way, Tails!
Without more emeralds, the monster can't transform. So, it's up to us to get the emeralds before Eggman does, huh?
Yes, you're absolutely right, Tails. We do have to get more emeralds than Robotnik does, huh? So yeah, guess that's what we better do. First of all, we'll have to pick up this windstone right here, and that will take us to the next action stage. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going to be our very next objective, is that we need to make sure that we get the Chaos Emeralds before Robotnik does. And unlike in the classic Sonic games, in which the Chaos Emeralds are treated as bonus collectibles to either get the good ending, or if you have all 7 of them, starting with Sonic 2, then you turn to Super Sonic. The Chaos Emeralds are here in this game, well, starting with this game, and this applies to a lot of the 3D Sonic games, are treated as plot MacGuffins. And, you know, I mean, I guess sometimes they might work, but there are other times, especially the most infamous ones, in which they're all over the place and they're just there for no reason, but they just happen to be there. But yeah, they're still used as plot MacGuffins anyway, and they just don't seem to justify enough of it. But you know, more of that once I get to those Sonic games. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. So anyways, here we are in Windy Valley. Yeah, as soon as you get a little further here in this section, yeah, this is where a tornado will start brewing up. I don't know what happened there. It looks like Sonic was just sitting right on that pole, in the middle of that pole. And here's something that's kind of absurd here. We're actually climbing up a tornado. I mean, granted, we're just going with the platforms that are basically just all the debris that we can get across. But yeah, essentially, we're just climbing a tornado. That's actually pretty absurd.
Jump as soon as you land on a panel, or else you'll fall.
And I gotta say, though, I actually do like that soothing music. Well, not this one, but the one in the first section of Windy Valley. It really sounds soothing. I like it a lot. And once we get to the third section, you guys are pretty much about to hear a very familiar tune in just a minute here. So yeah, in case you couldn't tell by now, this is actually the Green Grove music from Sonic 3D Blast. It's actually the Sega Genesis version, not the Sega Saturn version, where it has a completely different soundtrack. It's all just jazzy music, or with a lot of jazzy pianos. Now that's from the Sega Genesis version of Sonic 3D Blast, and you know, I wish I would say that I like it a lot. But there are a lot of other people who, even though they used to like it, nowadays they just can't seem to listen to it the same way ever again. Because I see that a certain kid has been using that for his intros, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's just this one certain kid in which he does absolutely nothing better to do except just screaming at a lot of people right at the camera, right at the top of his lungs, because that's pretty much the only way of his kind of entertainment, even though I clearly do not see that whatsoever, because it's all just screaming and shouting at those who have a different opinion on Sonic. And, well, you know, that's all he does in life. I don't know why he would do that, but, you know, that's just what he does. That's pretty much, that's his specialty, is to scream at the top of his lungs over people who may not like Sonic very much. So, you better watch out. You better pretty much have the same opinion as him, you freaking fricks. No, I'm kidding. To each his own. I do love this part of Windy Valley, though. It's very exhilarating. Pretty much all you do is that you just run all the way, run through there so much. And it's very exhilarating. I love it. Like, through these pathways here. It's a lot of fun here. I really do like Windy Valley. Oh, you know, by the way, where you saw in the cutscene, even though Robotnik's name is, well, Robotnik, you notice that Sonic and, well, actually Sonic has been calling him Eggman, or like Dr. Eggman. Eggman is actually Robotnik's Japanese name.
Yeah, not bad.
But in this game, like, starting with this game, like, well, it's actually only in this game which, Sonic and his friends would only call him Eggman, but it's actually used as an insult. But they still keep the name Dr. Robotnik, just like in the classic Sonic games. However, starting with Sonic Adventure 2, they actually pretty much retcon this. To where for some reason Eggman decides to just roll with it and just go like, oh, well, okay, I guess from now on I shall now be called Dr. Eggman.
The train headed for Station Square.
So yeah, from this point onwards, he will now always be Dr. Eggman. Like, without any explanation whatsoever. It's like, it was, what was once an insult, he just decides to roll with it. So. Then again, though, a lot of his inventions are egg-based. Like, there was the Egg Hornet, there was also the Eggmobile, in which he always uses. So I guess it could be a bit appropriate to just call him Eggman. But regardless, I'm still going to call him Dr. Robotnik. At least, only in this game, because at least, he still does go by Dr. Robotnik, but once I get to doing a Let's Play of Sonic Adventure 2, then that's where I'll start calling him Eggman from now on. And what I'm doing right now is that, you know how, like, each time you beat the stage, like, you get to the end goal, then you're usually rewarded with emblems? Sometimes you'll be, there are also going to be hidden emblems that can be scattered throughout certain locations in the hub worlds. And that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, is that I'm actually trying to make an attempt to get to the emblem that you can see over there. I actually tried just using the homing attack, but I just can't reach it, so what you have to do is that you just have to use the spin dash to get over there, and it was kind of a close call, but at least I actually made it. But yeah, you'll be, but yeah, there are also just these emblems hidden around in the hub world, so if you see one, go ahead and collect it. I'm not exactly sure what their main use is for, other than just for bragging rights. I can't really remember off the top of my head. I know that the DX version of the game unlocks some things, and yeah, I didn't even go over the DX version either. So yeah, this game actually does have a remake called Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. It comes in multiple versions, such as the GameCube, PS3, or PlayStation Network, and Xbox Live, and also the PC version. Oh yeah, I want to stop myself there, because watch this here. Look at this! I don't know what it is, but like, you can actually clearly mistake him for some sort of NPC, but once you actually press the B button, which is usually used to talk to other people, you can actually pick him up. And you can just do whatever you want with him. Or it's actually just a statue for the burger shop, but he clearly looks like a distinctive NPC. But yeah, you can still pick him up and just put him down or just throw him around. It's actually very funny to see. But anyways, and before I go ahead and talk more about the DX version, first we're going to go down the sewers, and there is an upgrade that we're going to be getting that is located in the sewers. As soon as we go right up there. And there it is. And I'll let this ball of light take it from here.
Now you've got light speed shoes. Press and hold the action button to store up power. Once you have enough power, release the button and you can do the light speed dash. The light speed dash lets you race toward rings at light speed. As long as there's a trail of rings, you can go just about anywhere.
So yeah, with the action button, which is actually the B button, just press and hold it, and then that's when you use light speed dash. And oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, the B button is actually used for the spin dash. Unlike in the classic games in which you just press down the control pad and then tap the B button to use a spin dash, it has its own button now in this game. So just hold the B button, then you just use it, and then it's easier like that as well. I do like how they incorporate it as just its own kind of button. So anyways, so yeah, that was the Lightspeed shoes we got. The one thing about it, though, is that it does kind of take a long time for Sonic to get ready to use his Lightspeed dash. But what we're gonna do, though, is that we're gonna be getting another upgrade that actually mitigates that, and it's located right inside this hotel. Yeah, that one upgrade, once we get it, it'll actually decrease the time that is needed to use the Lightspeed dash. Which I know is something that Adventure 2 actually fixes, in which you just press the B button near a trail of rings, and then Sonic will instantly use the Lightspeed dash. So once the door opens, go to those rings, and then there we go. That is the Crystal Ring.
This is the Crystal Ring. This reduces the time needed to store power for the Lightspeed dash.
Alright, now with that out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up what I was trying to say about the DX version. So yeah, like I was saying, the DX version is the remake of this game that came out in 2003. Well, I think firstly for the GameCube, and then the PC version, I believe, came out in 2004. The remake is exactly the same, like the main game actually. It does have new content or new bonus features that you can access, but for the main game itself, it's exactly the same. The one thing that's different though is that it actually looks vastly different, like visual-wise, or visually speaking. Like, for instance, pretty much all the character models have been updated to look more like their modern designs. Like, you can pretty much tell that in this game, Sonic kind of looks like a combination between his classic and modern design. That's not exactly the case in the DX version. Since all the character models have been updated, now Sonic looks much more like his modern design. And they're also much more polished and a little shinier looking. And it's also not just with them, but the entire scenery, like every single location and all the scenery around here looks different as well. Like there's a different color and different textures. Like, for example, in the Mystic Ruins, you can see that in the Dreamcast version, the grass and the dirt looks dark. Like, you know, the grass is dark green, and the ground or the dirt has a darker orange kind of color. Not so much in the DX version, because in that version, the grass is much lighter, and same thing with the dirt as well. So that's actually one example of how different the DX version looks compared to the Dreamcast version. And not to mention, the frame rate is a lot smoother in that version as well. Well, at least in the gameplay. The frame rate is still the same in the cutscenes, but in gameplay, the frame rate is a lot smoother. I also gotta say, though, that I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I have actually never experienced or played the Dreamcast version ever. Because I actually did just buy the Sega Dreamcast just recently, and along with Sonic Adventure 1, and I also did buy Sonic Adventure 2 along with it. The reason why I want to go for the Dreamcast version instead of the DX version, like, I do have the DX version for the GameCube, but the reason I wanted to go for the original version is because, like, I know for one thing the DX version is the kind of version in which a lot of people grew up with, or have at least first experienced Sonic Adventure just by playing that version. And it is easy to see why, because it is technically the better version. But there are actually kind of like two reasons. For one thing, it's kind of a tradition for this channel in which I would like to record the original, or do Let's Plays of the original versions of a game. Although there are a handful of exceptions, mind you, and some certain LPs I'll be doing, in which we'll get to that in one of these days, but yeah, that's pretty much one reason. I wanted to play the game in its original form. And the other reason is because, like, a lot more people do Let's Plays of the DX version than the Dreamcast version. Like, there's still Let's Plays of the Dreamcast version. Like, I know that Brain Scratch Commentaries actually did their playthrough of the Dreamcast version, but a big majority of it is just the DX version, so I kind of want to give the Dreamcast version a little more love. Also, a little trivia here. It's also the first time I'm actually doing a Let's Play of a console that is not a Nintendo console. Huh. What do you know? But yeah, yeah, for for my very first experience with Sonic Adventure, it was actually the DX version. I've had a lot of experience with the DX version, and because I'm so used to that version, I'm very much blown away. And I still am to this day, like, just playing the Dreamcast version for the first time, and I am pretty much blown away about how different the game looks visually compared to how the DX version looks. I mean, like, I've seen Let's Plays of the Dreamcast version before, but you know, even today, it's kind of it still is kind of mind blowing for me. But yeah, like I know it's at least it's not so much of a blind Let's Play or Let's Play, even though this is my first time playing the Dreamcast version because I already did play the DX version, but I'm just so much more used to the DX version that that I can be just blown away by some of the things in the Dreamcast version, like the visuals. But yeah, either way, it's not so much of a blind LP. But overall, this is my first time playing it. So anyway, yeah, I know I keep talking on and on about this, and it kind of went past the video footage. And I am trying to find ways to avoid that. I've been trying to do that, but sometimes it may not work. But I'm going to try to work around that to make sure I don't try to do it so much, because I've been doing that in a lot of the previous videos, and it kind of needs to stop right now, so... Anyways, next time on Let's Play Sonic Adventure, we are going to go to our next stage, which is a casino stage. Hey, you know, it can't be a Sonic game without a casino level, am I right? So, anyway, until next time, see you guys later.